nicht. Ich mich nicht angesprochen.
Meine Nase ist auch wieder total scheiße. Die läuft wieder die ganze Zeit.
Hör auf zu koksen. Spaß.
Ich nehme nicht mal Drogen. Auch privat mache ich nichts.
Wenn du leicht bist.
Nein, allgemein nicht. Ich rauche nicht, ich nehme keine Drogen und Alkohol absolut fast gar nicht. Bitte was? Bitte was?
Hochgezogen, meine Güte. So offensichtlicher kannst du nicht. Soll mit die Drogenberatung anrufen? Kein Spaß.
Nein, 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 nein. Nein, ich verzichte. Ich verzichte. Aber danke.
Bitteschön. Wir dachten, wir wären Freunde.
Welcher Freund? Ich bin Single.
Freunde.
Ach so.
Alles. Okay, alles klar. Baby, don't hurt me no more. But it's love. Warte, ich hab auch so ein Lied. Was? Will er mich provozieren? Was hab ich da heute getan? Hat dich der Lukas so ein bisschen provoziert oder was? Nein.
Was?
Das kannst du nicht machen.
Warum?
Wieso machst du das?
Why are you doing this?
Why are you doing this? Actually, yeah. Warum machen wir das?
What is wrong with you?
Okay, das ist... okay, Sakura sieht da voll hängen geblieben aus, das ist schon okay.
Yay, Alter! Anthony, Quizfrage. Du hast doch Lenne und Lynette.
Ja, ich hab die ganze Familie.
Macht auch. Frage. Lynne und Lynette haben jeweils ein Zeichen und da gibt es einen Charakter in Hunter x Hunter. Welcher ist das, der dieselben Zeichen hat nur auf einem Gesicht?
Ja, das ist Hisoka. Denkst du, ich hab das nicht gesehen, oder was, bei den zwei?
Hätte er sein können.
Nein, Hisoka auf jeden Fall.
Hm? Ach, der ist am leichtesten. Mach's mit dem Boot.
Ja, das habe ich auch gemacht. Mit dem Boot gemacht, tatsächlich.
Wenn du es hast, musst du einen Magokenki besiegen, aber der geht in ruckzuck schnelle weg. Ein Gegner.
Ein Gegner, das ist ein Boss. Das ist ein Boss in der Nähe.
Das ist so eine Art Puppenspieler. Ich musste mal gucken, wie viel Dailies ich hier gemacht habe. Ah. Aber wie schon gesagt, mein VR spinnt gerade extrem. Und deswegen kann ich
Dein
derzeit auch
Arsch.
mein VR, Kamera, Sticks plus Kamera, ist gerade komplett angearscht, wortwörtlich.
Die gotta VR.
Ach. Oh, warum? Ja, das könnten wir das morgen machen.
Den Grafen auf 70.
Ja, ich verstehe. Ja, das können wir dann gerne morgen machen. Ja, ich weiß, was du meinst. Ich hab doch selber jeder unseren Lied.
Ich bin doch ein Affe.
So, jetzt geht der schwere Teil der Verhandlung los. Yay!
Und wo ist das Fotoapparat? Wo ist denn der Fotoapparat?
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand. Thank you, Mr. Lee. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained
Und welcher
within
Fotoapparat ist
the
das?
magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus.
Fotoapparat Presso?
That's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady,
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Lenny is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly
Nee.
in that tunnel at all.
Ich habe hier ein Event-Fotoapparat von Brenn.
Is that so? And if I
Was
may
denn?
ask, what did you
Hilft dann mal Anthony mit dem Sakura-Reinigungsprozess dann.
That's how I kept track of the time and built
Sakura.
anticipation for the finale.
Du weißt, was du letztens durchgemacht hast.
anything else at all?
Welches
That
Reinigungsprozess?
might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
Braucht keine Hilfe.
Nein, wenn er die Quiz macht, wenn er Hilfe braucht, dass du ihm hilfst. Bei den Rätseln.
Ja, Rätsel kann ich YouTube. Also bitte, also. Man muss ja nicht extra wegen mir jetzt irgendwie. Um Gottes Willen.
I'm sure he could have heard a noise that.
I was right by the box.
Das ist ja
I
die machen.
definitely heard the thud.
Dass du das ja die machen. So. Reicht auch schon wieder.
Well then, ladies And my foundation are
Ich bin der Ertrunkene. Ich habe mir selber den Titel gegeben.
actually from the House of the Heart. The House of the Heart?
Was ist mit der mondbescheidenen Tiefe? Um was geht's da? Watasumi.
No wonder they did something like this.
The serial disappearances were the Fatsoon's doing.
You have a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an act.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute.
Okay, jetzt mache ich
Your
nur
first
immer weiter.
priority is to prove yourself innocent after all.
Nur
I'm
Wunder.
sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has
Mhm.
holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off. Hey, Winnie, what?
Order! Order! First, when the thud was heard in the uproar, this claims true.
Kurze Wunder. Lies die Stelle. Sagen Sie, dass Omizikami gesagt hat, 3
Please
Augen hat.
answer my
Eine für
question.
die Seele, eine Spielen und das
Yes,
letzte
they're
Ritual.
true, Your Honor.
Aus den Tiefen steigt es auf, vom Süden über den Norden und dann ganz über den
That's it.
westlichen
Might as well
Hügel.
move on to the sentencing.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary?
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable. We shall adjourn.
Ja.
This trial will reconvene in one...
Löse
So
das
you
Siegel
would
über den
stick to Mr.
Schrein.
Lenny's defense. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow...
Mein lieber Hydroark, und manchmal übertreibst du es auch.
Well,
Nie ohne
this
Seife
is
waschen.
awkward.
Nie ohne
I
Seife
didn't think the
waschen.
Hydroarchon would dig all... I'm sorry, Traveler and Pylon.
Yeah, sorry. Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, I know you've clashed with the Batui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you... But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything, right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, but still, I'm asking you to trust me.
Sorry. Please forgive us. Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear your answer first. And
Of course, I'll answer any question. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a conscience. During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only
Ja,
take 15.
hallo?
So after jumping into the
Ich bin konzentriert.
well, nothing.
Hm.
As was quite certain that that voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution. On the way back, I saw the voice and the clothes on her. But the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it. After that, the homicide occurred just as you summoned.
That explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, it was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But, like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fontaine.
You decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay, thank you.
Im Deutschen klingt das so brutaler als wie im Englischen.
Pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro-Archon's
Nochmal?
accusations, we're gonna
Im Deutschen klingt das brutaler, als wie wenn ich die Synchro, also die Schreibsprache auf Englisch habe. Und zwar ging es, Kurzversion, Lene wurden wegen der Magic Show gerade verurteilt. Wir sind die Verteidiger von denen.
Ich komme gleich wieder, ja?
Ja. Das Problem ist, diese von den Fatuis, die haben das gerade erfahren. Und wir mussten entscheiden, wie wir weiter fortfahren. Und da steht, da hatte ich zwei was. Ich glaube, ich werde dir weiterhelfen, wenn du unschuldig bist. Also bis du unschuldig bist oder so. Oder ich werde dir, wenn du der Mörder bist, werde ich deine Exekution mit ansehen. Sag ich doch.
Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon?
Keine Sorge. Weiter geht's mit Text. Ja, ich esse gleich noch ein paar Chips.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue.
That took long enough. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Okay. Habe ich auch schon verstanden? Ja, ja. War das jetzt eine Frage an mich, oder?
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel.
Ach so.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the
Ich muss mich hier auf den Fall konzentrieren.
He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her.
Ach, Farina, du machst einen riesen Fehler.
Having heard that strange noise, so Linney proceeded to knock him out too. Afterward, Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the mad. And there you have it. That
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Linney experienced, and what he saw.
Los geht's. Kampf zwischen Linney und Halsey nach Widersprüchen suche. Wurde auch nicht Zeuge dessen, was sich in dem Plan vorfiel.
According to Linney, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel.
Aber verfahren sich in der Zeit wirklich am Tunnel?
Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Mit vollem Gewissen nachzuurteilen war der Vorfall bereits geschehen, als Linny in den Turm zurückgekehrt und es was gestand.
Linny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has the countdown started. Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
Steve, wir müssen ab Sonntag dann wieder lernen. Ich schreibe dann am nächsten Dienstag einen Test. Sag ich dir. Eos, Leberzirrhose und Stoma.
In other words, you
Weiß ich nicht.
he knew nothing of the incident? That's right.
Ja, ich habe ja auch schon eine... Ich habe euch auch schon eine Mail an meine Lehrerin geschickt. Also, wo wir den Test schreiben.
My reasoning?
Wir wurden absichtlich von jemandem manipuliert, aber du behauptest, Corey ist zufällig auf Linne gestoßen.
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a disappearance.
Scheiße Nase.
The point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell them! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around. Well, your
Kenn ich.
denial is very strident.
Nö.
I'll give you that.
Ich bin selten auf dem Low-Account, aber ich bin da schneller durch als ihr.
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? What? You're saying that he wasn't?
Jetzt mit der Waffe, mit deiner Aussage jetzt zu meiner Waffe werden, deine Aussage jetzt zu meinem entscheidenden Hinweis geworfen. Alter, das... Was war jetzt die Aussage? entführt wurde.
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought?
Okay, das war falsch.
That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Zahnräder Fülle Freifelder, die richtige Schlussreihenfolgung. Dann werden die Beweisketten abgeschlossen. Die Ermittlungen der
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant.
Richtig, yes! Ah.
That can't be right. Are you serious?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator.
Okay, wie könnte man vorher wissen, dass Lenny keine Möglichkeit hatte, das Verbrechen zu begehen?
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
Wie lässt sich beweisen, dass im Tunnel eine Aussage...
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Lenny. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrance. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between...
wer ist der derzeitige Hauptverdächtige?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's...
Wohin ist der vermisste Halsey verschwunden?
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must...
Na, nur die Kleidung ist falsch, okay.
No one entered or left the... It would have been tough for both people to fit into...
Auch falsch, okay, dann die andere.
No one entered or left...
Hä?
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring?
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared. Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person
Excuse my
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing... The deceased's name is Cowell. The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence.
Yes!
Paimon gets it! It all... Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a...
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here. Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection.
Even so, I trust the traveler. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may... Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an... Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effect.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must... We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are...
The primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which one of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolve...
It's something so ridiculous. Actually,
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
People can become water. Does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? Wait just a minute. Could that mean...
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partner?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examine... Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Guards, please continue examining the... Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
So.
The deceased's name is Cowell.
Welche Hilfsmittel hatte der Täter zur Verfügung, um den Zeitpunkt des Auflösers zu kontrollieren?
It seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of trigger. The water from the primordial...
Welche Hilfsmittel hatte der Täter mit Verbrechen mit ganzer Wolf?
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and...
Na, das ist falsch. Ah, okay, scheiße.
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within...
Yes.
It's Ace Detective Paimon!
Einen wunderschönen guten Abend.
He encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing. Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused?
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that I shall now invite him on stage to share.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people, and we found an identical sample of the water.
What?
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present...
Okay.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime. Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, am I right, Mr.
We've used all the evidence we collected. There's no way. Is this the end of the road?
Oh no. Seems using the water is... I think we've all seen enough. I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good, no... excuse me, everyone, but...
Miss, I must ask you not to shout.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in... What in the world?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. Once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance.
I understand.
And voila.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So...
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there, and I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act. have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire
Was geht's?
Seems this... The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt to break out when she was frightened. The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but it was smashed during the struggle between Lillian and Cowell. Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
And it's Ace Detective time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover
Welch nur an mir guckst du?
Lillian had not dissolved.
Ah.
He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended. She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow. Look at that. She's like a deflated balloon now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box, and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent. While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dare to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
Bye-bye.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Lenny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end, even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui. I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
A knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law. I managed to ferret out the
Alles
location
gut,
of the
Steven?
mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I
Bist du
leaped over
still?
the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, All I
Du hast
saw
mich
was the
gestummt.
room
Jetzt fühle ich mich beleidigt.
and the nave
Kannst du doch ruhig laut lassen. Ist doch nicht schlimm. Nö, ist nicht schlimm.
She'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right.
Da weiß ich wenigstens, dass du noch da bist.
Come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, I mean the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer.
Was musst du machen?
The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align
Wie
with
heißt die
ours.
Quest?
Here, none will ever betray you.
Mm.
Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
So that's how the two of you joined the
Weißt du
House
noch?
of the Hearth.
Weißt du noch, wo du das 5. gemacht hattest? Direkt neben dem Teleporter. Dort ist so eine Art Skelett und da sind, glaube ich, 2, 3 Kristallmark.
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis.
Nein.
Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a gnosis, everything is aimed at
It's all right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the house, I have never stopped making my own decisions. And that I
Dann
believe
geh
what I'm doing
mal
is right. If you should need anything
in
at
die
all
Nähe, wo
future,
du den
feel free
ersten
to
Part
find me.
angenommen hast.
I will do my best to help
Du
you
siehst,
as plain Lenny.
Bye, Linny.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances. Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now.
Ah. I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in
Ganz viel
Fontaine
Ton.
after all. Sorry. I might have been too
Don't say that, Navia.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new sorry about... Wait, shall we have a farewell meal?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory.
Mhm.
Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navia's treating, count Paimon in.
Paimon, ich sag's nett und freundlich. Du bist ein bisschen...
To the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Bois.
Du hast keine Liebe nach Essen.
Just in time for dinner.
All right then, let's have our farewell meal.
Lila. Hilfe, eine Sayo. Mhm.
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel like this in a while.
In that case, I'll go order for.
Ooh, everything looks so good.
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone. Albeit with.
Yeah. Sure have. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could have.
Oh,
Hm.
Paimon didn't mean that you had to order even more.
Das ist ganz einfach. Heißt, du musst dann mit einer sprechenden Katze, also zuerst. Ja. Also du kennst die Katze schon.
But I feel that's about it. We know that there's an organization that means to dissolve these young women, but we still don't.
If it hadn't happened right in front of us,
Mhm.
Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved.
Ach, die da.
Right? Yet it was because this was such a preposterous notion that the investigation could never really move forward before.
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking.
Du bist schneller.
Close to hearing who was behind it.
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like a yawning chasm if the trail of clues is cut off. To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability. It's just that.
Hast du das schon auf Kokomis Insel gemacht?
It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective.
Da wo der Domain unter Wasser ist, ganz links.
Is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exist. Those highfalutin folk are not.
Die Quest meinte ich.
That's why we exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through, where their watch fails them. That's the kind of problems we solve.
Seems Paimon thought things were simpler than they.
It's all right.
Du kannst ja Enkonomie erst freischalten.
What are your future plans?
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended.
Ja, Enkonomie ist ja ein Weltenauftrag tatsächlich. Ich kann nicht doch Request.
So, your primary objective, which has been foiled so far, was to have a chat with the Hydro Archon. I've heard that there's a long line of people.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas.
Wenn du noch entkommen willst, ist es schon wichtig.
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the place. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to
Meines,
see the end.
also zuerst den einen Teil aktivieren musst. Dann musst du zu der gleichen Dame hingehen, mit der wo du den Auftrag angenommen hast. Und dann geht der zweite Teil los.
Alright, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then wake her up in the dead of night and demand answers. Don't let her go back to sleep until she answers all your questions. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
Nein, ich gehe noch nicht pennen. Nee, der hat einen Anruf.
Ah, valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep. All right, no more joking around. Huh. Perhaps you could... Oh, I don't know. Cut the line when she's on a break. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusations she had nearly upheld personally. I imagine that she feels quite ashamed about the whole thing.
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know, strike while the iron is hot and all.
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying attention and the cup was right next to Paimon. Would you like to order another?
No, it's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fanta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the if we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuffed. Thanks for the treat, Navia. Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore. That would be so normal. You know, like you.
Okay. As for expenses this month, we're left with...
Hey, Navia! What are you doing over there?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro Archon again. Bye, Navia!
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. In any case, I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
See ya!
Ich kann sofort mit dir reden. Ich kläre kurz was Privates, deswegen. Achso. I'm sorry.
Personally, I think the idea of things staying the same forever is quite beautiful. But alas, that is simply not the way the world works.
Seems like the stories here never have a happy ending.
Most humans could have the entirety of their fleeting lives chronicled in but a few short lines. Their stories really make for terribly dull reading.
Seems like the stories here never have a happy ending.
Traveling to other worlds is all that anyone seems to be writing about these days. Goodness knows what they find so disappointing about their own world.
Seems like the stories here never have a happy ending. Seems like the stories here never have a happy ending.
Most humans could have the entirety of their fleeting lives chronicled in but a few short lines. Their stories really make for terribly dull reading.
Steven! Hallo? Steven? Steven! Hallöchen! Da bist du ja! Ach so. Trinkst du Kaffee? Nicht. Wegen nächsten Samstag. Also geplant hatte ich jetzt von, sagen wir, 15 bis 19 Uhr. Dass du da mal guckst. Ist okay. Ja. Ja.
Vache, are you my dear Vache? No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Wait. My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten? Yes, that is what I was once. I do not know how I came to be like this either. I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places of peril. No matter where I went, but now we can... No! Our reunion no longer has... The thought of me gives him no succor. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Perhaps that is so. As I was... If only I could have comforted him. Told him that I did not suffer. Is that what you call it? Dissolving. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace. Like the water. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person
Was guckst du da?
water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived. I think I hear your companion. Farewell then.
Hm.
Demoiselle, look out!
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Chlorand? Quick, now's our chance! I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Chlorand. But before I do so, could I believe that following someone without their knowledge...
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I would...
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, Demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Corand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did...
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is... Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure
Ey,
they've
Leute.
known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this
Es
long
war
to act against me.
der einzige Charakter, der wirklich mit Genshin, also das einzige Spiel, was wirklich mit Genshin kurz zusammengearbeitet hat. Wo ich mir denke, okay, kann man machen, muss man aber nicht. Ist er auch tatsächlich.
What? Your point being that they're up?
Yes. Be careful.
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good day, all.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations a little.
I know, she's...
Oh, thank goodness! I thought we were done for! Those Gardemex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us! Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too! We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that every meal we have together shall be a victory feast. As such, we're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
Almo.
It will take 50 years for me to match.
Kann ich dir gleich sagen?
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in
Well, to be honest, you... Huh? Yes. All thanks to you grab... After we parted ways, that the Fanta tasted kind of salt Fanta. Only...
So the Fanta had been spiked with...
Yes. So...
Spina di Rosso.
Huh. Really?
I sent people
Redet,
to...
redet, danke.
I figured out that you might... What? Well,
Schwester Annemo.
Speaking of which...
Well, it can't be... Oh, and this time Paimon heard it. Does that mean the...
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
New intel?
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh, that is important.
Ich kann dir das sofort sagen.
Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have been threatened? Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate. Oh, you mean...
Well, you did say that our friend... And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook, so...
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite...
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases, shall we? I'll arrange accommodations for you. We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our...
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
So, jetzt kann ich dir es genauer sagen, warte. Annemo. Dabei gibt es gar nicht so viele Annemo-Charaktere. Ich würde wahrscheinlich auf Farosan tippen. Was? Nee, denkst du, ich rechne mit sowas? Hm.
It's right up ahead.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone suspicious.
Huh. Very good.
I shall find rooms.
Thank you, Malus. Now.
This is your base?
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Dendro,
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough to...
Kolle, ja.
Our financial situation...
Your father...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain.
No. I'll explain. My father's name is Callus. Yes, 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove... But strangely, he not only requested that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel. 3 years later, how could he protect his honor? If he's dead, the closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in.
Was?
However, I must know...
Der ist voll verdammt gut.
Was my father coerced?
Mhm.
Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth. If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact, and now, here I am investigating his death.
Was zum Teufel?
Demoiselle, please.
Dendro, Elektro und Hydro sind bis jetzt die stärksten Elemente beim Reisenden.
Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one. Even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our strained finances at present.
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little...
No. Perhaps people just revel in... People love watching the evil...
But how could... never...
There is one...
Oh. Her? Well, then... Isn't that as... Yeah. That's not the...
Miss Clorand, she knew Master Callus before. There was only ever one...
It's not that I don't understand her at all.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows
Afterward, Miss Clorand told her, yes, that is our understanding as...
Oh, all right. Anyway...
Wasser zu Hydro zu 50% Jädern.
Thanks.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will enjoy...
Wie fandest du das Video, was ich dir was ich in die Gruppe geschickt hatte? Wo ich dich geedit hab am Video.
croissant. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not...
Hana gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back.
Genshin-Gruppe.
Never mind that. When did you get back?
Ich hab dich gerettet.
Waiting here the whole time?
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vache.
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
So.
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere. I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that this Vache person is a key witness in the incident.
Does that mean we're too late, though?
No. There and that is the archives kept by Chief. If the Osea...
So Nervalette maintains an archive of... In that case, let's go talk...
No, it's nothing. The palais is right up ahead. Come on.
Dendro, Nahida. Vor allem erstens wegen ihrer R2 und danach wegen ihrer Ulti.
Please state your business here. This place does...
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't...
See? They've got great discipline too.
Yep. If you're here just to crack jokes...
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few...
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on...
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice...
Thanks so much.
Ja, das war klar. Elektro Raiden.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalette.
It's all right. Please.
So you're not mad at...
We're looking for a man called Vache.
I see.
Who knew that Nervalette would be so easy to talk to?
Boah, Digga.
Was ist denn los?
Sorry, Digga.
Du warst jetzt schon über eine Stunde wieder weg. Was hast denn du gemacht, außer zu telefonieren?
Ich hab telefoniert nochmal, aber jemand hat am Telefon geheult und hat nach Ratschlag gesucht. Ja, was soll ich machen? Ich bin mit die Hotline, Telefon-Hotline.
Bist du so ein Hilfecenter?
Miss Navia, I can understand how your father Khaled.
And what are you
Eis. Eis.
Are you trying to console me?
Der beste Charakter. Ganyu oder Euler?
No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should.
Ganyu.
It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort.
Bleibst du noch, Mädchen?
Was ist?
Ach nee, Digga, die fuckt mich jetzt langsam ein bisschen ab.
Why didn't you give me the power to stop him? For everything was hanging. There are still so many things. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes.
Wayden.
I, Navia, will...
I'm sorry, Miss.
You and my father are truly alike. It's not so much that you can't feel. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Kasua.
Navia, are you okay?
Nein.
I'm fine.
Ciao.
You're right.
Now that I think of it.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. That thought has occurred to us before.
Was sucht ihr?
We've even expanded the
Nächsten
search area to try to
nächsten
account for
Charakter,
that.
den du pullen willst.
Didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
Seine Meinung oder allgemein?
And
Also
the true
jetzt.
murderer could have been... Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad.
Ja, aber wie du, okay, seine Meinung.
Jeder hat eine andere Meinung, von daher.
Ja, ich habe gesagt, seine Meinung.
For a partner. You're completely right. Oh, did
Mhm.
I connect the dots early? All right, let's go to Poisson.
Yeah, we're gonna make...
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by... Great, let's go.
Jelan. Er hat nicht Jelan genommen.
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may... Opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless...
And Paimon...